Hello, everyone. It's Warriors NRL Fanatics here, and tonight joining me tonight actually is two special guests from the Rugby League Outlaws. It's Dan up the top there, and down the bottom is Terry. They're both Cronulla Sharks tragic fans. So yeah, it's good to have you guys on the channel tonight for the very first time, and we're going to preview the Cronulla Sharks versus New Zealand Warriors Round 5 NRL fixture on the Sunday at PointsBet Stadium down there in Sydney. So yeah, guys, welcome to the channel, and it's good to have you on.
Yeah, thanks for having us, man. This is just saying to Dan off air, this is absolutely unreal, this setup. So yeah, really appreciate you having us.
Way more professional than we're used to, mate. So we're happy to be
here.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's great to have you guys on. So yeah, before we get into the preview, why don't you get some background knowledge on you guys and how you guys started off with. Like, first things first, the Rugby League Outlaws. So how did you guys start the Rugby League Outlaws? As what was the reason behind starting off the page and your content?
I'll let Dan answer that one.
Dan, we like attention, mate. So we've Terry and I have known each other for so long now, and we found ourselves talking football, and we're like, people have to listen to this. It's too good to keep to ourselves. We have a podcast, the Fins Up podcast, which is very Sharks biased. It's sort of our personalities turn up to 11. And, we Punch of Media came to us and said, oh, you boys want to put your ugly mugs on TV or YouTube? And we said, look, if we have to, and, mate, it's been an absolute pleasure. I get to spend Sunday and Monday night with Terry, which is, like, so good.
Yeah, it's just one of them things that we said for a long period of time that we needed to make a podcast just to mainly vent about Cronulla and how much they hurt our life. And just one thing led to another. Our podcast started getting, more views than we thought we could. So, yeah, we got approached by a media channel, and here we are.
Yeah, so just on the Rugby League Outlaws, how long have you guys been doing it for? Like, what year did you start off doing it?
It was 2021, I believe, because we just got going and the pandemic hit. So we had to record. We could only have one person on set because my brother filmed, so we could only have he and I. So Terry had to sort of ring in. So it was definitely a learning curve. But yeah, we've been going 2 hours and 2 hours, feels like 2 hours, going 2 years. And I'm pretty proud of what we produced. I mean, it's not Channel 9 worthy. I think it's better, to be honest.
Yeah, the first episode was shot in my garage the first trial episode was shot in my garage in March 2021. And then just as we got going, I think we got about 2 or 3 episodes or, maybe a bit more. And then the pandemic hit and I was, recording my views by myself in the bedroom. So, but yeah, that was, although it was bad timing, it was actually pretty good to get some rugby league content out there because, the games were being played in front of 0 fans and people just wanted to talk about it. And fortunately enough for Dan, they wanted to listen to us talk about it as well. So,
yeah, well said there. So, yeah, just to the chat here, just say hello to everyone in the chat. So, you got Jacko here, Peripe's here, as well as the Wobble and Jaw Sports channel as well. So, Sam Rebel, it's good to see you to tune in. But, look, how long have you guys been Sharks fans? How long have you guys been supporting the Cronulla Sharks? And were you massive rugby league fans growing up, or were you brought into it by your family or your friends? Or were you massive Sharks fans growing up?
Next year's 30 years for me, so I'll be 38 next year. No, I'm a basketballer through and through. Probably can't tell from me sitting down, but I'm quite tall. So, but yeah, I was a basketballer through and through. But my parents separated when I was quite young. So I promise this isn't going to be a depressing story. But my uncle took me to the footy with his mate one night. It was Sharks versus Souths, and they said to me, the winner of this game is who you've got to support for the rest of your life. And I was crying like a baby all the way there because I didn't want to go to the footy. He took me out to Shark Park. Cronulla won 42-0. ET scored 5 tries, and I've never looked back.
You're much the same, minus the story. I was born into the Sharks, mate. I've been supporting them since I can literally remember. I mean, it goes my kids, rugby league, everything else, and I only jest a little bit about that. It's very close.
Yeah.
So,
What particular order?
Yeah, no jest at all. Maybe the top 2 flip a little bit, but no, mate, I absolutely love it. Unfortunately, the Sharks were terrible for so long, but it's good to finally be pretty decent. So it's well worth it.
Yeah, well said there. And who are your favourite past and present players from the Cronulla Sharks, and a favourite memory? Obviously, you'll probably say that definitely the grand final against the Storm. That was definitely one Sharks fans will really remember for a long time, being that you won your first premiership. But what was your favourite memory as a favourite Sharks game from your memory, and a past and present player that you enjoy watching?
The 2001 season was an absolute highlight for me because Preston Campbell just went absolutely mental, and we had some real good memories that year. Beat Newcastle 49-30, and Andrew Johns got sent off for clotheslining Adam Dykes. So that's a there's also given Manly a couple of hidings here and there. I've got to say, one of my favourite all-time games was in 2018 between the Sharks and the Warriors over in Mount Smart Stadium. Edric Lee scored after a field goal was kicked by Sean Johnson. So Eddie Lee scored with a couple of minutes to go to win the game, controversially off a forward pass.
Wasn't forward. I was just about to chime in.
Yeah. But no, I think my favourite all-time game would be putting 60 on Manly.
I got to say, as much as I love the grand final, I couldn't enjoy it because it was so close.
And it was a horrible game to watch. If you take that out of being a grand final, it was just a boring game of football.
Too much defense for mine. The week before the prelim, where we absolutely battered the Cowboys, that's my favorite game ever. It was party time. As soon as we led like 8 or 10-0, whatever it was at half time, just the second half was just party time because it just went bang, bang, bang. But in terms of favorite players, I mean, Preston Campbell, Peachy, we grew up, E.T., Rogers, all the main ones. But if I had to pick one out, I mean, it's definitely not Chad Townsend.
No, favourite players now would be Nico and Toby. And I think Ronaldo and Jesse would be right there. All time, for mine, Brett Morley and Sean Ryan.
Yep, well said there. Yeah. So, why don't we get on to now down to the preview now? We'll start off with the preview for the game. So, it's Warriors and Sharks on the Sunday afternoon. It's also game on Channel 9 and Foxtel and KO, and Sky Sports in New Zealand. So, we'll get into the team list now. So, we'll go through the team list. One of you guys can go through the Sharks team, and I'll go through the Warriors team. So, we'll let you guys go first, as you guys are the guests. So, you guys can go through the Sharks team first.
Well, number one, the wingers, Ronaldo Mulatalo, Sione Katoa. In the centres, we got Big Sifa Talakai and Jesse Ramian. Number 6, Matt Moylan, Hail the Great Man. Number 7, Nico Hines, the Dalian medalist elect after one game, I'm calling it now. Toby Rudolph, Braden Hamlin-Ueli up front. Terry's favourite player at number 9, Blake Bailey. And, of course, Teague Wilton and Britton Nakora in the backline. Dale Finucane in 13. The bench, I believe, is Williams,
McInnes, Williams, Hunt, and Trindle.
That's right, yeah. Kafusi's out with a head knock, unfortunately.
Yep. So I'll go for the Warriors lineup. So we're the way side this week. So got fullback there, Chance Nickel-Klukstad, Edward Cozy on the wing, Viliami Valia in the centres, Adam Pompey, Masai Montour on the other wing there. Coming into the halves this week, 5'8", Ronald Volkman in for Tamari Martin, who unfortunately has to miss this week's game due to the 11-day stand down because of concussion there. So he's in there for the Tamari Martin this week. Partner and Sean Johnson, former Shark. And Adam Fanua Blake's the prop, and Wade Egan is the hooker. He's returned to the starting side. Bunty Afoa, prop, as well as in the second row, Jackson Ford and Murata Niokore, and captain and lock is Tohu Harris, who's under a bit of an injury concern cloud at the moment. So I'm not too sure whether he will be playing this week. So got the bench here: Dylan Walker, Bailey Serenin, Jazz Tavung and Tom Ale, and the reserves of Josh Curran, Kane Tuapiki, Freddie Lussick, Rocco Berry, and Dimitri Suffolk-Kula. And your match officials, Ben Cummins, and the senior review official bunker, it is Adam G there. So what are you guys' thoughts on the Sharks team? It's a very strong side. Not too many surprises there from my point of view. But, yeah, what are your thoughts on the Sharks side? And then what are your thoughts on the opposition side, the Warriors?
Picks itself for mine. I don't think that bench will be the bench on game day. Braden Trindle and Cam McInnes are too light to be going up against that team. So I think Braden Trindle will drop out, and you'll see Tom Hazelton make his first appearance of the season. At least that's what I hope. Other than that, the 16 other players really pick themselves. There's some conjecture. Do you have Moylan out of the team for Trindle? At the moment, no. Trindle played really well in a couple of weeks, but Moylan's got enough runs on the board with Nico Hines to say that he will stay in the team for a little bit longer. But a form slump or an injury, and Trindle will go in there and he won't look back. In terms of your team, it's a frightening team. It's very big. Wade Egan is just about the most improved player in the competition at the moment, and he's a player that I love watching. He's a player that has served me very well in Supercoach this year. A question to you though, mate. Why isn't Josh Curran in the team? Is there an injury there? Is it form? What's happened with him?
I think it's form. I mean, he was dropped to the New South Wales Cup only a week or two ago. So I think basically Andrew Webster's saying that you need to show a bit more. And he's been playing New South Wales Cup, but I don't know what the go is at the moment actually on him. I think it's basically form, and he's also had an injury as well. So I don't know what the huge go is on that one, but they seem to be picking Jackson Ford and all those others ahead of him. So the others are doing a pretty good job at the moment. So, it's hard to see how we can get into the side at the moment.
Sharks are only, a player short of being at full strength as far as I'm concerned. So pretty confident going into the weekend. I love Volkman, though. I think that's a huge inclusion. I mean, it's a shame because we were just saying on Outlaws the other night how good Tamari Martin's been. I think he's been a great pickup for you guys. I'm surprised Brisbane let him go. Considering the former Reece Walsh, I can't say I blame him in hindsight. But your forwards, Adam Fanua-Blake has made a career beating up the Cronulla Sharks. A couple of years ago, even when we beat Manly like 60-10, he scored 2 tries and ran for like 250 metres. So, I mean, I borderline hate the bloke, and I worry about what he'll do to our forward pack this week. But I think Cronulla, have got the. I think we'll get the chocolates out wide. Put it that way. I'm pretty confident Ronaldo and Ramian are the best in their positions across the field. But mate, Sean Johnson, if he plays like last week, who knows?
Yeah. On Sean Johnson, he's coming up against his former side in Cronulla, and what are you guys' thoughts on Sean as a player? I mean, he used to play for you guys, and now he's playing against you. What are your thoughts? Because he didn't have the most easiest time at Cronulla, Sean.
I loved Sean when he signed. I loved everything about it. The signing for mine didn't make sense because we lost Valentine Holmes and when we got Sean Johnson, so you couldn't get two more polar opposite players. But Sean Johnson, when you think about him in the early part of his career, he was the flash, the step, everything about him was just absolutely fantastic. We got him at the back end of his career, but in terms of, you never have to worry about an off-field incident with Sean Johnson. He's professional. I think towards the end of his time at Cronulla, when he knew he wasn't going to be re-signed, that's when you start hearing things about, he didn't come to games when he was injured because he visited his family, etc., and all that kind of stuff. But look, you can't say a bad word about him. He got us to the finals 2 out of the 3 years. And the third year we shut him down because he was injured. So, yeah, look, he's gone back to New Zealand. He looks happy. He looks healthy. He's fit. I wish him all the best. I just hope he has a shocker this weekend.
Fairly said. Look, echo those thoughts. The second year he played for us, he dragged us to a semi-finals we otherwise would have missed. And I know people made a big deal about his kicking. We lost a couple of games where we couldn't convert to save our lives. Shaun Johnson was setting up every try we scored, so I'm not going to bag him. Look, on the way out, I feel like he did himself dirty. I'm not going to look too much into that. I know John Morris promised him a bag of money to re-sign, and then when he was flicked, that never came to pass. But look, overall, mate, we love Shaun Johnson. He tore us up a couple of years ago on the bell, so I should dislike him, but I can't. He's just too attractive a player to watch. But
I've got that game on here as well, Dan.
Oh, don't remind me. We love him, mate. We hope he has a decent but not great game.
Yeah. Well said there. Yeah. So on to key matchups. So what sort of matchup are you guys excited about on the field in terms of, whether it's a forwards battle or is it a halves battle or outside backs? What is the battle that stands out to you for?
I like your outside backs this year because they're just hard workers, no frills. The centre, Bailey, is Vaela his name? He looks he looked really good on the weekend. I've been a silent fan of Marcelo Montoya for a while. I thought he was pretty good at the Dogs. They just didn't give him enough opportunities. He's gone to New Zealand and capitalised on it. I think a real good battle at the moment is Nickel Clockstar versus Will Kennedy. That's a good one for mine. But obviously, I say every week because Cronulla's forwards have a habit of not getting on the front foot, and your pack is big. So the game will be won in the forwards, and especially in Fanua Blake's first stint. If we have a lead when he goes off the field, I'm very confident that we'll run away with it. I don't want to, the obvious key matchup is Shaun Johnson versus the bloke who replaced him. But for mine, this game will be won in the forwards. And if Cronulla's forwards can lay that foundation, our backline will capitalise on it.
Absolutely agree. Fanua Blake, Toby Rudolph. If Fanua Blake gets on top of our forwards, we're playing from behind as good as Nico is. Can't play behind a beaten pack. Teague Walton, Britton Nakora are our two informed players. So I think if they can beat the Jackson forwards, etc., I think we'll be in good stead. That's the one I'm looking forward to, the wide battle, because I think you guys will win the middle, which, pains me to say, but head on heart.
Yeah. I think obviously you guys got the backs. I think our outside backs have been good. I think they've been solid this season. There's a lot of people that weren't big on the likes of Edward Cozy and Valia coming in to the side, but I think they've been pretty solid and done the job. And Adam Pompey's done pretty well as well. So you guys got William Kennedy there at the fullback spot. He's been great this season. What are you guys' thoughts on William Kennedy start of the year? He's on the top try scorers list. Actually, he's scored 5 tries this year.
Dan and I say it every week, a healthy Will Kennedy is one of the best fullbacks in the competition. He's a step below the superstars and your Trells and your Turbos and your Teddies. But, last year he started the year off on absolute fire, busted his shoulder, busted his ankle, limped out like we did. But healthy Will Kennedy, no ankle issue, no shoulder issue, putting his body on the line. His support play this year is, Dan and I have been saying every week, he's looking for those offloads. But he's there on all the breaks as well. And, if Nico looks left instead of looking right, Will Kennedy scores under the post instead of Jesse Ramian. So, he's been... The one thing about Will as well is when a ball goes up in the air, you feel confident that he's going to take it. And he had that collision between him and Moylan on the weekend, and he still held the ball. So, in terms of the opening rounds, the 3 best players for us have been Trindle, Nakora, and Kennedy. And on the weekend, Trindle didn't play, and that changed to Hines, Nakora, and Kennedy. So he's been absolutely outstanding to start the year.
Perfectly said. Very, very happy. Yep. Full disclosure, in the off-season, I was saying it's time for Kay Dykes. Obviously, Dykes did his ACL, but regardless, Will Kennedy's been arguably the fullback of the competition.
Not named Hammer.
Yeah. So just to read a comment here, actually, on the chat, you're saying that the Bomb the Warble and Jaw Sports channel. He's saying if I had to put a couple bucks on, I'm feeling that Toe Harris won't be risked and won't play. Yeah, I wouldn't risk him if he's not fully fit. I wouldn't play him.
Yeah, don't risk him. Don't risk him.
No, it's a long season.
Please don't. Rest for Noah Blake too. It's all good. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't think that will be happening. Yeah. Look, for me, obviously, Sharks. I'm obviously looking out for those back five there. I think the back five, Ronaldo Mulitalo there on the wings, very dangerous player. Like I said, there, William Kennedy's been great. Sione Katoa as well can find the try line. Talakai as well, he's big guy in the centres there. Pompey's coming up against him, so yeah, it's going to be a bit of a task defeating him. So yeah, what about the halves? The halves are actually, I think, going to be an interesting battle there. You got Nicholas Hines, just what he did last week in his first game back was outstanding. Dally M winner last year, fully deserved. I thought last year when he won the Dally M. Him and Sean Johnson up against each other, and you got Moreland up against young Ronald Volkman there. So, yeah, what are your guys' thoughts on that battle there, the halves battle?
Well, Ronald Volkman is the interesting one because he was the player that every Sharks fan thought was going to follow Fitz to from the Roosters to the Sharks, and then he ended up going to you guys mid-season. So, look, and him being a relative rookie up against Matt Moylan, who's got the experience, and then as you said, you've got Sean Johnson, who was absolutely like Nico Hines was, off the mark, good passing game, great vision, kicking game, loves a repeat set. So whoever's forward pack gets on top early gives their halfback the best chance of winning the game.
Yeah, look, agreed. But if it comes down to one of the halfbacks having to win the game on his own back, I mean, with the greatest respect, it's Nico for sure.
It's going to be Nico, yeah.
I think I'm really excited to see what Volkman can do. Yeah. I mean,
not against us.
Yeah, but in future, I really think he's going to be a superstar. I had him as your number 6 going into the season. So the halves battle's fantastic. I would again, with the greatest respects, we've got more experience combined. We should win that battle at home. But I mean, if Sean Johnson tears us up, it won't be the first time.
Yeah, well said there. So, yeah, I'm just going through the comments here. So, Jackie's saying here that Kennedy's top class of speed as well. And the Waz Up TV, he's asking here, what is the Outlaws' thoughts on Metcalf? He's not playing. What do you guys think of him as a player? Yeah, what are you guys' thoughts on Luke Metcalf? Because he's a very young player. He's really talented. And unfortunately, we don't get to see him. We saw him in the trials. He was very strong against the Tigers. But, yeah, what are you guys' thoughts on Luke Metcalf?
Our 2017 Jersey Flag team was one of the best teams, like best junior teams you'll see. Kyle Flanagan scored about 500 points that year. But the real standout player in that team was Luke Metcalf. He went to Manly, and, Sharks fans were rightly furious. He came back, didn't get his opportunities. Injuries, a big one, but Luke Metcalf, a lot of us were calling for him to be the 5'8" last year. A lot of us were calling for him to get in the centre as the fullback. He just didn't get that opportunity. We saw what he could do in 2021, and then unfortunately he got injured. And that seems to be the tale of Luke Metcalf, is every time he looks like he's about to get his opportunity, he gets injured. He was nearly there at Manly and he got injured. He made his debut at Cronulla, he got injured. He was just about in the team last year and he got injured. And he's gone over to New Zealand, worked on his body, and he just got injured. So I hope he's not one of them players that you talk about in 5 years' time at the pub where you get a trivia question. You go, who debuted for the Sharks, played 3 games, never saw him again. I want him to go over there and play 30, 40 games for you guys, because there is a career there of a very, very good first-grade footballer. He's just being let down by his body at the moment.
He can be something special. He's so quick. He's so elusive. He's got a good head on his shoulders. Like, honestly, talking to the kid at media days and stuff, he's just so likable. Honestly, we were annoyed to lose him, but I mean, you can't keep everyone. And ultimately, there wasn't a position there for him. Connor Tracy was picked over him for whatever reason. In hindsight, I probably would have offered the other way, but I mean, mate, I wish him all the best. I hope he goes over there and does what Chad does and sort of finds himself and comes back to us and re-reap the awards. Being very selfish, but I love the kid, mate. I wish him nothing but the best.
Yeah. Well said there. Yeah, well said. Thanks for answering that question. But you got any more key matchups before we move on?
The nines, because yours is way better than ours.
Your bench is incredible.
Yeah.
Like, it annoys me. We were laughing at the benches the other night. Like, the Roosters have got some guy like Dave they found at the KFC parking lot, and you guys got like Bailey Sirinen and Tavaga and stuff coming off the bench. I hate it.
Wait, Justin Vargas coming off the bench?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, your bench is really good if that's the case.
Yeah, and Dylan Walker too, despite his,
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I believe our bench is pretty strong. Even last week against the Bulldogs, I thought we had the better bench, and that showed when we brought on a few players. We brought on Tavanga, we brought on Walker, and they changed the way we attacked because we were struggling at the start. We were trailing in that game, and I think the biggest concern, obviously, going into this game is how we start the game, because in majority of our games this season we've started off very slowly. So we can't afford to start slowly against you guys, especially. I don't know what you guys' thoughts are on that, because you guys are a team that like to start off pretty fast, you guys. So, yeah, I don't know. What are your thoughts on that? Because you can see that the Warriors are slow starters when it comes to games, but they seem to do pretty well at the back end.
Yeah, the first 2 weeks we started really poorly. Although against the Rabbitohs we should have taken the lead early through Mulatalo, but he laughed his way and then got the ball knocked out of his arms. But against Parramatta, we were down 10-0 quite quickly and managed to bring that back and then, take the lead and never lose it. Against Canberra, we scored early and we thought we were just going to run away with the game. And I think the players thought that as well. And the same thing happened against the Dragons. We scored early and we should have run away with the game, but we let the Dragons get back into it. I think at home, if we can get an early lead, you might just get the crowd into it because, Sharks have been pretty poor starters at home and the fans sort of – it's a small, compact stadium at Cronulla, so the tension is felt and it gets – if we're down 6-0, it gets pretty quiet. We don't even boo the referee. So we need to start fast again. I wouldn't mind a Will Kennedy try under the posts, to kickstart that, and then fingers crossed we can just push forward. As I said though, if we let your forwards take advantage of us early, we're going to be playing back foot footy, and that's not what we want to do. Our team isn't built to be behind and chase points. Our team is built to score more points than you early and close the game out.
It's only our second home game of the season too, so the crowd's going to be on, and we only lost one game at Shark Park last year, I believe. And
we lost to the Roosters.
Yeah, so we've already lost one. So not the perfect start. This is the first game Nico will play at Shark Park all year. So I think they'll come out on fire. I think Cronulla will score first, but it comes down to when Cronulla make their first error, first drop ball, first penalty. That's when you see what Sharks you got on the day. If we can repel that and come back and score early, Cronulla are on. If you guys score early, it is game on for everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I do agree that with Shark Park it can be very hostile sort of crowd. When you get when you guys get the crowd involved and then start well, it's usually very difficult for any opposition team to get back in it. So as a Warriors fan, I'm just hoping that we start well and not have a slow start and throw 8-0 like we did last week, and sort of stay in that contest throughout the first half, and then hopefully in the second half as well. So yeah, look, the betting prices actually do have the Sharks here $1.39 favourites at Sportsbet there. Warriors are $3. So yeah, I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts on those odds?
I think Cronulla are a bit too short. I would have had this sort of around about the 160 to 250 mark, just because we're 2-2 at the moment, and we haven't actually been outstanding for 80 minutes. We had a brilliant 40-minute spell against Parramatta, and we had a great second half against the Dragons. But other than that, in terms of 320 minutes of football have been played for Cronulla, and I think those odds are a bit blown out, and I don't think it's going to be a 13+ victory for Cronulla. I would have had it a little bit shorter, but I'm not surprised with the favourites.
Cronulla deserved favourites, but I mean, $3 there's a lot of value there. If you guys score first and you can bet in game, there's your value.
Yeah, well said there. So we'll look on to the stats now, actually. So, the Warriors this year actually do lead a couple of areas of the game. So they lead the league at completion rates on 83%. Line breaks as well, 25, also leading the way, and decoy runs 226 with line breaks 20. The third most runs on 755, and the third most kick return meters on 746. So, do you guys have any stats you can bring up for the Sharks this season?
Oh, I'm just going to hand it to Terry. This is him.
Yeah, Terry, go ahead.
On the season, we've scored the most points, but our defense is really bad. Our discipline is poor. Our completion rate is down on where it needs to be. We only completed about 73%. Our missed tackles, apart from the first game of the season, have actually been pretty good. The other the stats that I've got, though, in terms of overall head-to-head between these two teams, in the last 10 games, Cronulla have won 8 of the last 10 by a margin of 30-12, or 30.6 to 12.3. And in the 2 games that the Warriors have beaten us in, we lost 19-18 and 18-16. So when you win, it's very close, and when we win, it's a blowout. The last time that you beat us in Cronulla was 2015. Jeff Robson, for whatever reason, could not kick the ball into touch, and Sean Johnson stepped everybody, including me, my children, my mum, my dad, my dogs, and scored under the post to win the game.
Yeah.
It was infuriating. So we do have, whilst Cronulla have some bogey teams, it feels like that New Zealand aren't one of them. So in saying that, put all your money on New Zealand now, because I am a jinx.
You guys are due, put it that way.
Yeah, you are due to beat us, and you are due to win at Shark Park. But yeah, it's coming up for a decade now. A couple of those games, though, were during COVID as well. So we did play one. I think we had you took a home game to Sunshine Coast against us. If I remember, we were down 10-0 early and won 38-16. So
yeah, it's worrying.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this the other bit of stats I got out here is actually head-to-head stats. So played you guys 42 times since 1998. Sharks have won 26. The Warriors have only won 16. So the Sharks do have the good record against the Warriors. Previous meeting was the Sharks beating the Warriors 38-16 in 2022 on the 12th of June. And the 8th of May 2022 was the Sharks 29, Warriors 10. And I believe that game was the game where you guys were down a player, actually. So
Will Kennedy got sent off.
Yeah,
Will Kennedy got sent off, and Jesse Ramian got sin bin. So at one point we were down by 11. We were down to 11.
I went into the bathroom. We had 13. I came out and we had 11. I was like, "What's going on?" Like,
yeah, and I can't believe it, because we didn't have the game plan that to expose you guys. We just it was a bit of a frustrating loss in my point of view. I thought that was a game where we could have won. So that was the most frustrating thing for me. So
just as an outsider.
Yeah,
not letting Connor Tracy score 2 tries is probably a good step to winning a game.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so the Sharks' record at PointsBet Stadium is actually 156 to 273, 57%. It's very handy. It's a very handy record. The Warriors' record, not great, obviously 24%, 4 from 17 there. So yeah, not the best of records there. So. Yeah, obviously, both teams so far this season, Warriors have won 3 from 4, and you guys, I believe, are 2 from 4. So, yeah, you guys won against your arch rivals in the Dragons last week. So, just quickly, what were your thoughts on that game last week against the Dragons? I thought it was a pretty close contest early on, but you guys ran away with it in that second half.
Yeah, so second half was perfect. First half was tragic. I think, and Dan and I spoke about it last night, but at halftime, Cronulla had completed at 61% and given away the majority of our penalties, and the Dragons had only given away 1 penalty and completed at 95%. And for them to be behind at halftime, they would be absolutely infuriating. At halftime, the talk needed to be really simple. Don't make the mistakes. Clear the crap out of the ruck. Make the Dragons make the first mistake of the second half and win the field position battle. And that's exactly what happened. 3 minutes into the second half, Dragons dropped the ball. Ronaldo scored in the corner. And from that point there, it was just get to your kick it to the corner, good chase. And that's got to be the same this weekend. Make the Warriors make the first mistake inside their territory, capitalise on it, pin them down. There is a comment there from the Clough Stuff. Dragons are diabolical like the Tigers. That is correct. Thank you for pointing that out. Both those teams are hopeless. But yeah, that in terms of that game there, the first half was a learning curve for what the second half, showed what Cronulla can do. And we scored 28 points, and I feel that we left 20 on the table as well.
Yeah, the gap in quality is ridiculous. Let's be honest. I mean, maybe Blake Laurie makes the Sharks team. That's it. That's the only player I would entertain. Ben Hunt's great, but he's no Nico Hines. We went out at halftime to blow some steam off, and I said to Terry, if we hold the ball, we win by 30. And he said at least. Yeah. And we won by 32. And as Terry said, we could have scored another 20 points. Teague Wilton throwing the ball 15 metres forward to Nico, who's unmarked and under the sticks. And then we took Nico off with 10 or 12 minutes to go as if to say, this is too easy. So, yeah. I mean, it was good overall. That first half, though, oh, mate, the grey hairs here, they were really out that day. It was diabolical. But ultimately, all you remember is the result. So I'm pretty happy overall.
Yeah, yep, exactly. Yeah, just thought, obviously, you guys just had too much class. Just Nicholas Hines was outstanding, and Kennedy, and I think there weren't too many players from your side that were disappointing. So, yeah, it was just a great win in the end there over the Dragons. But over to the predictions now for the game. What are you feeling in regards to this one? Do you guys reckon that you will win this pretty comfortably, or do you reckon that the Warriors will be competitive? What are your thoughts?
I don't think we'll win it comfortably. I think New Zealand have the players, and Andrew Webster showed that he's a really, really good coach, and he's in the fact that you said that he's dropped Josh Curran for discipline in the off season and not playing well, but I think you have the players to upset us and to niggle us, and we have the players to take the bait. I think we win this game, and I think the game, will be won by us with about 15 minutes to go. Not a blowout, but, looking at like a 24-12 and Nico just kicking you out of the game so you can't come back. I'm not willing to say 13 plus on this because I've been really impressed with the Warriors. Especially goal line defense this year has really been noticeable for you guys. So, I'm going to pick Cronulla at home to win this one. Not easily, but not stressfully either.
I'm very confident. I think Cronulla ultimately win. I'm thinking along the same lines. I think it'll be about probably 20-10 with 10 minutes to go, and we might score a try or two and make it look more convincing than it perhaps otherwise is. Thanks, Sam, by the way. We love you, mate. Look, Cronulla have got way more class. I don't think I'm out of line saying that. But if you guys drag us into a dogfight, as Terry said, we got the kind of players that can just forget what we're doing and try and get into the biff. We saw Royce Hunt march the other day. Ronaldo's done it. Talakai's done it.
Jesse Raymond's just as likely to fight himself as anyone else. So
exactly right. So, I mean, there's the game plan. But I think if you guys turn up with a good attitude and don't let us dominate early, it's on. But early drop ball, heads down, Cronulla. If Cronulla lead 12-0, I think Cronulla win by 40. Yeah. If you guys take an early lead, this game's going to be a scrap, an entertaining scrap, but I can't see Cronulla run away with it unless we kickstart real early.
Yeah, well said there. Yeah, look, for me, it's going to be a difficult one. It's going to be a tough game, coming up against you guys. Obviously, the Sharks, last year were very strong. Finished in the top two. Obviously, very good year for you guys last year, obviously, but just not getting it done in the finals. But still a good year nonetheless. This year I still reckon you guys will be definitely a top 8 side this year for sure. So, Look, this is a test for us. It's a test. It's a massive test for the boys. We've had a few of these tests so far this year. I think, obviously, like I said earlier in the stream, that the start's going to be important. Just how we start this game, we can't afford to be chasing a 12-0 deficit against you guys. So, look, I'm going to back the boys in here. I am going to back my boys. Got to back the Warriors here. So, I think it'll be close. I'll go Warriors by 4. And
this is a really important game for us, though, because we've got the bye next week, so it's essentially a 4 game.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. It's probably. I think it's pretty much an important game for both sides. I think the Warriors, especially, just want to get another win as well. So, just
capitalize while you're up. Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Who's your right winger?
Right winger.
It's not Montoya. It's the other one.
It's Edward Cozy, yeah.
He has to be on because if Ronaldo bullies him, Ronaldo will score a hattie.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, and he had a lot of pressure put on him last week against the Bulldogs. The Bulldogs, in terms of Matt Burton, they were kicking the ball a lot to him, and he managed to just take that pressure very well. But he's obviously going to come up against the kicking game of Nicholas Hines. So I'm pretty sure the Sharks will be trying to do something similar in terms of kicking it to his corner, especially. So I think they'll be trying to put a lot of pressure on him.
It's going to be fun. Look for Ronnie, though. If I had to put a try scorer on, Ronaldo, all day, every day.
Oh, yeah, I've got Will Kennedy to make it a hat-trick of our first try scorers. And then look for Talakai hasn't scored this year, so back him any time.
Oh, yeah.
And I think Ronaldo is
Yeah, for me, a try scorer, I'll go Marcelo Montoya as a Warriors try scorer. For the Sharks,
and I like your centre as well. That I'll back him.
Yeah, and for the Sharks, I'll probably go Mulatalo. I think he knows how to find the try line. So yeah, I'll go Ronaldo Mulatalo there. So, you guys, what are your margins for this game?
12, 1-12.
I'll say 16.
Yeah, and I've got the Warriors by 4 there. So, yeah, guys, I'd like to thank you for coming on the channel. It's been really much appreciated. I appreciate you guys giving your time up and coming on the channel to preview this Warriors vs Sharks game.
Yeah, thanks for having us, mate. Thanks for everyone in the comments as well. We tried to answer them as they popped up. Give us a look out on Rugby League Outlaws. We're very complimentary to the Warriors. We've said it multiple times that 2020 and 2021 don't happen without the sacrifice of the players, families, the club, and the commitment that you all showed. So, whereas we go really hard on the Dragons, we're really good to the Warriors. So, thank you for having us.
Terry, just quickly, where did we predict the Warriors would come this season?
You predicted them to come last, Dan.
Hey. No, I had the Dolphins to come last and was talked out of it. So, hey, look, we're happy to eat crow. We don't wish negativity on anyone except the West Tigers, Manly, the Dragons, the Roosters, everyone else is the Warriors.
No, but cheers. Really appreciate you having us on.
Thanks so much, mate.
Yeah, no worries. And you guys can go and check out their platforms. I put a link in the description of the channel down below. So yeah, go and check them out. They're on Facebook, Twitter, and they're on YouTube as well. So go and check out the Rugby League Outlaws. I highly recommend you do that. So yeah, thanks to everyone for watching the preview for the Cronulla Sharks New Zealand Warriors round 5 fixture. May the best team win on Sunday. Hopefully the Warriors get up. Hopefully it's a competitive and close game. And cheers everyone for tuning in, and have a great rest of the week, everyone. Good night.
Thanks, guys.